You are listening to episode 30 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I didn't realize we were starting the show just now, so this is a pleasant surprise.
We
were
just started with some
scatting. And I would have joined in a little more if I knew where that was.
Sorry, I was building up. It was like I was Rocky and I was running up the steps, except I was singing the song myself. So we're excited to come to you guys today to talk about comics, comic book movies, TV, anything related to the world of comics. And then we're going to rate these things, man. We're going to rate them so hard. We're going to rate them with our rating system.
So bad.
It's not bad. We're just going to take care of these things with ratings. And so, Matt, this week, we're going to let people know our rating scale. But based upon the events of Batman number 33, we are going to base the scale of Let's Go's ratings on our favorite Robins. Let the controversy begin. Little Burberry. To cut that. So Little Bird Boy is going down. All right.
Oh, man. Little blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Cut that. Let me do that over. All right. So, are you ready? All right. Do you want to start?
I'm ready. I feel like we're actually probably not going to fight on this one. But
I don't know.
Other people are going to want to fight us collectively, potentially.
So, here we go.
All right.
A Gotta Go is the best. It's the best it's ever going to get. The top of the game. And so, I'm going to go out there right now. I'm going to go on a limb. I think we may disagree. So, the Gotta Go, based on Robins, is Timothy Drake.
I agree.
The third Robin.
I agree.
Maybe the fourth, depending on introductions or in.
He's the Robin that John Blake wishes he was.
He is the Robin that John Blake wishes he was. There we go. So we're both on the same page there.
Yeah, I feel like why were we fighting more over breakfast cereal than comic book characters? All right, so
because we just were.
So Let's Go is the next one,
yeah.
And I'm also going to be a little controversial because I feel like other people should think that certain Robins fall in the top two, and I'm going to go with Damian Wayne.
Oh wow, bold choice, dude. Bold.
I didn't go classic. I went.
Yeah.
I went with who I mean, just based on who I enjoy reading.
Yeah.
And Damian's just a great character, and I feel like he continues to be developed more and more into a character that I want to see what happens.
I absolutely love Damian Wayne as Robin, but he's not my two.
Oh, dang. Okay.
He's not my two.
Let's go. Let's go for you.
Yeah. Let's Go for me is Dick Grayson. He's classic. He's he is when you think about Robin.
That's a way to go, for sure.
When you think about Robin, you think about Dick Grayson. But here's the thing about Dick Grayson. I never really read him as Robin. By the time I started reading comics, he was already freaking Nightwing.
Yep.
He was already like, hey, Batman, I have a mullet and a disco collar.
There you go.
I'm going to fight crime now.
And I would say even some of my favorite stories with him, he's not Robin or Nightwing, but it was his short tenure as Batman.
Oh.
I actually really loved those stories. So I think that's a solid choice, man. I get that. Yeah. I get going with the more iconic classic, the original. So after Let's Go, we got to go.
Yeah, just to go.
So I'm guessing we're probably going to trade spots on this one. I'm going to go with Dick Grayson on this one.
Wow, is it just a go? Dick Grayson?
Just because I have to put him behind the other two, not because he's not good.
Yeah, okay, fine.
A go is still a good rating, remember, man?
There you go. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, go's good. Go's hey. I'm going to say Jason Todd. I thought he served his purpose, he did what he did, and I think during those times, I think they just wrote him into a corner, and the fans were like, kill him. And so the bad thing about Jason Todd, I think he meant more dead than alive. I don't enjoy him as a character now. What I have read of him as Red Hood and all that stuff, whatever. I was kind of bummed that he came back, and when he came back in Hush, then it turned out to be Clayface and all this other stuff, and then they did bring him back because Superboy hit freaking the earth. It was stupid. So
I'm surprised he was a go.
Yeah, he's a go. Right. Why? Would you think he was going to be at the bottom?
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
I thought we talked about this ahead of time.
I think we did, but I think I really thought about my thoughts about Robin. And
so you're trying to say that I didn't think about?
Not at all. No, it was an emotional conversation, and this one was thought out, and I was all right,
that's fair.
So he serves his purpose in the mythology of Robin, but nothing really sticks. He's most famous for being the dead Robin.
Yeah, which is why for me he's the don't go.
Oh wow, okay.
I don't think he's a bad character.
Yeah.
He's just, if we're putting things in order, he falls in fourth for me.
Fair enough. All right, my don't go on the Robins is Stephanie Brown.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
She had no point to be Robin. It was kind of dumb. It was just a way to like make another girl Robin instead of doing it based upon like, oh, she's a cool character. It was like a really dumb, like Batman's punishing
all right,
Tim Drake, and then they freaking killed her in like War Games, and that was stupid.
It was weird. She was a freaking awesome Batgirl, though.
I don't think that Stephanie Brown, the character Stephanie Brown as Robin, was a bad idea. Like as letting her be Robin because she's a girl. I don't care about any of that. I just thought the way they did it was stupid. It was a really forced like storyline, and I thought, what a waste. So
all right.
I don't think it's kind of like off the record for me. But yeah, I would say like. It's hard because you got to pick the best of the best. And I think Carrie Kelly's cool in the story she's in, for Dark Knight Returns. And they kind of tried to bring her back in New 52 in the Batman and Robin comic.
I would put her in the go kind of range, like same as like Dick Grayson for me.
Yeah, that's where I put Damian. I put Damian in the let's go, gotta go area. He's a really fun character, but we don't have 0.5s on here.
We don't have? Sometimes you use a 0.5 on the rating.
Well, here we go. Okay, 5. If I do a 0.5 today, just say it's Damian. You get a Damian Wayne.
Gotta go and a half.
Gotta go and a half. So we were critiqued. I was critiqued. Maybe not all of us. I think we were critiqued by. I had a friend who's like, "Hey, man, you give out a lot of gotta goes." So
I agree with that.
Can't be throwing those out.
I tell Justin the same thing, man.
Yeah, maybe I'm hot and cold. We were talking about that today. And I'm like, either I really like something or I really don't like something, and it's hard.
No
for me
middle
to,
ground.
Yeah, I do have middle ground sometimes. I'm not as passionate. It's like okay, whatever. I'm like indifferent. I'm like okay.
Your middle ground is indifference.
There it is.
If you care at all, you either hate it or love it.
And you know what? It's going to be we'll get into that later on when we start talking about these DCW shows because that's how I feel. Those are a good example of like my temperature on things. So, all right.
So
well,
a
enough about
little
that.
preview into what we'll talk about later.
What are we talking about later then, man? Yo.
Well, we had the CW, all the DC TV shows had their premieres last week. So Justin and I have diligently made our way through those, some with no prior experience really at all. So we'll talk about those in a little bit. But first, it feels like all the news we have these days is talking about trailers.
Dude, it is comic book movie season.
It's trailer time.
It's always comic book movie season, FYI. It's never going to end.
It's true. So the first trailer we have in our news actually isn't even comic book related.
Yeah,
it's just something we just like. It's nerdy. It's pop culture based.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about Stranger Things season 2.
Yeah.
Seems like it's our final trailer since it's going to be premiering a week from this Friday.
Yeah, they said the final trailer. Like that was.
We're only 10 days away from that, dude.
Oh my god.
How did you feel about that trailer, man?
I loved it, dude. It was good. Like the music was great. All the, I don't know what the heck's going on. A lot of Winona Ryder looking crazy.
Yeah, yelling about her son.
Like, what is going on with my son? Yeah, I don't know what kid it is, but he's tying a bandana around his head, like straight up like John Rambo. That was cool.
Oh yeah, it made me think of Goonies, which I guess is probably a reference to
Rambo. Yeah.
So,
which speaking of Goonies, Sean Austin's in it.
Yeah,
so
I didn't realize Sean Astin was in there.
Yeah, dude, they got some 1980s pedigree in that movie.
He's got some nerd cred too, like for a lot of different things.
Oh yeah,
little Samwise Gamgee,
little Hobbity
Hobbit,
and Rudy.
I
know.
That's
I'm just kidding. I was like Encino Man. Like what other movie says?
Oh man, yeah. It looks like. I mean, it's always interesting to see a second season of something that's so popular to kind of see how it does and where it takes the story.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're ramping everything up even more, where it feels like it was already super intense the first season. So,
this one's like the end of the world's coming. Like this.
Like okay,
and those
Let's see how
those
it goes,
haircuts,
man.
dude, they're so 80s. The 80s was the best time for everything. Not everything, not like if you were involved in the Iran-Contra scandal and stuff like that. But
I think it's fine that they have 80s haircuts. I think it's great that it's accurate. I don't think that makes them good haircuts.
No. I'm just saying everything about the 80s. I thought
maybe you were going to say
was awesome. Go back in time and think about the 90s were okay. Like the 80s though, everything was awesome in the 80s. When you woke up on Saturday, it was awesome. When you wake up on Saturdays now, it's not that awesome. It's like, you can just pull up whatever you want. Like things were scheduled. That's what I'm saying.
You like structure. The structure of the 80s.
I like the structure of the 80s. It was cool. You're like, you knew, like, oh man, G.I. Joe's on. Boom. You can like run your life according to like what cartoons were coming out.
That's true.
There you go.
All right. Stranger Things season 2. We're stoked to watch that.
So what is it? What are you going to rate it?
What am I going to rate
this? You going to give it a Jason Todd or something?
This trailer?
Yeah.
I would give it a let's go.
Yeah.
It's not a gotta go. I feel like the first trailer for it, like with the thriller opening and stuff like that got me just bananas excited. Yeah. And this one I was like, oh, that's a lot more scenes, but it didn't like give me the same like nostalgic kind of vibe as that.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
But I'm still stoked to see the show. So it's a let's go. I'm looking forward to it.
It is a let's go for me as well. I thought it was. I'm super pumped for it. I'm excited. So
all right.
Moving on.
So we have a trailer for another X-Men property, New Mutants. Justin, you're shaking your head already.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head.
What did you think of this trailer?
We don't have a trash juice section this week, so I'm just going to nominate the New Mutants trailer for trash juice.
I'm going to reject that motion on the floor.
All right. It's not unanimous, and it's not trash juice.
I don't think it's
trash juice has to be unanimous. So
unanimous trash juice. What puts it in that range for you?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't know everything about New Mutants. All right, I have a vague awareness of it. If it didn't say New Mutants at the end, which by the way, I love the graphic of the New Mutants. I like how
super cool.
Yeah, I like how that looked. This looks like generic, like horror movie number 5 to me. Like, you know.
Yeah, I think that would be the one thing. Like that doesn't tank it completely for me. But that's because I'm excited to see some of these characters, knowing who they are.
Yeah,
because you have like Sunspot, you have Cannonball, you have Wolfsbane. Like,
yeah, but
they're people that I've read.
Why were they? Why was it all horrored out like that?
I'm pretty sure that there is a run of New Mutants where that was kind of more the vibe.
Okay,
it was a lot darker and stuff like that. See, because that's the thing. Like, I agree with you that it didn't feel like anything mutant-y about it. I'm actually like really okay with the idea of a superhero horror movie. Like I love that idea of putting it into a new genre. I think they cast really great actors. And so I think there's things about it where it makes me excited. This trailer itself, like I rewatched it before we started recording just to kind of refresh my memory.
Yeah.
And it does pretty much just feel like a straight up horror movie, which I think maybe that's what they're banking on, is that they're telling you this is a X-Men, like New Mutants film, but they're giving you like straight down the line horror.
Yeah.
To where you're like, wait, hold on. Like, they're not kidding. It's not going to be like influenced by horror, but this is like going to be a horror movie.
See, I don't have a problem with a superhero horror movie. Like, I thought Blade did that really well, you know. Maybe not so hardcore into the horror, but it dabbled, right? This also, is X-Men the property to go horror with? That's all. I don't know.
I mean, they've gone a different way with Deadpool. They've gone. But it felt
if they
true diversify
to the character.
Like some of this stuff, I think that's.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with comics and horror, like superheroes in that genre at all. It's just, to me, it didn't feel like, oh, okay, this is the next, like.
It didn't feel like it belonged in that universe. Even if it
didn't feel true to it for me. But hey, I'll go watch it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So
what would you rate the trailer?
Oh, for me.
So it's probably a don't go for you then? I don't want to speak.
I don't want to say it's a don't go.
You were nominating for Trash Juice, so
I was. Let's just say it's a don't go and a half. Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty neutral on it. It's a go for me.
Yeah. So all right, there's a thing. That was a thing.
Save the best for last.
Save the best for last, dude.
What's this next trailer, man?
Black Panther, dude.
Oh man.
The revolution will not be televised.
Oh, dude. I just want to watch it over and over and over and over again.
It was really good, man.
I mean, when we talked through trailers last week, remember one of the things we talked about, a great trailer makes you want to drive to the theater and be able to watch that movie as soon as you watch it.
Yeah. That was like...
This trailer did that.
Yeah.
I would say none of the other trailers from last week did that. Even the ones I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this trailer, right. I was like, what is going on? I love this.
This immediately, like, it took Black Panther, like, let me just tell you, I'm going to say something crazy. You're going to be like, what?
Uh-oh.
If Black Panther was coming out in 2017, it would be Black Panther crushing every other movie I want to watch. That means Justice League.
Wow.
Thor.
That is high praise coming from Justin.
I know. That trailer looked awesome.
Yeah, dude. If that movie's anywhere close to all that stuff, like what they showed us in that trailer,
it was great, dude. It was great. Man, like the visuals
so many
were straight
cool,
up.
Yeah, it's just
awesome.
First of all, it's gorgeous. Like some of the shots, I was like, reminded me of the shots I saw in the Blade Runner trailer that made me want to go see that movie. Like it's just like beautiful cinematography, but then you just have bananas crazy like action set pieces. You have amazing technological stuff. Like it's just all the things I want to see for Black Panther to see him represented well on film.
What it did for me is it gave me a little more like reassurance with Ryan Coogler. Like this is a really big movie, and everything he's done has been very small. You know, like more intimate. You know, and that's not a bad thing. Like Creed wasn't this big world, you know, spanning. That took place in like a city. You know, that was in Philadelphia, and you know he's shooting in real places. Like Wakanda looks like a beautiful place, like in a hybrid of it. Look now, I don't know anything about what's going on in the movie. You know, I haven't like paid attention to every little thing, but like some of it looked very New Yorkish. But is that just a hybrid of like what Wakanda's city looks like inside of this like area? You know?
I mean, looking at like, I mean, it was a quick shot just going through the city, but it looks like very much like a mishmash of a lot of different styles, which I think kind of adds to just, it looks like a real lived in place. Yeah. I mean, gosh. And looking at spoilers for anybody that really wants to go in, not knowing anything about this, because we haven't talked about any details of the trailer. So I'm going to spoil it, but seeing Michael B. Jordan with his own Black Panther costume,
that was cool.
Showing up. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You're going to have double Black Panther fighting.
Double Black Panthers all the way across the sky. Oh, man.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
But that was a cool surprise because it took literally the same shot we saw in the first trailer, but this suit forms around him.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just, gosh. Yeah. I'm beside myself, like excited to see this movie. February cannot come soon enough. Yeah,
man. And I just thought the energy, dude, like having Run the Jewels up in the song, that was cool.
Gosh, yeah.
That race, that car thing, it kind of was reminiscent of him running in
Civil War. Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional at all.
I feel like they ramped it up though, dude.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you thought that was cool? Watch this. Like, so
cool enough that I don't know if I wanted to see that much. Like after seeing it, I was like, that was amazing. Oh man, did I want to see all that though?
They did show a lot, but you know, like I think that it's okay for this because there's some stuff I'm like,
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, like you mentioned Ryan B. Jordan's character. He's wearing the Black Panther suit, but there's
Michael B. Jordan.
What did I say?
You said Ryan B. Jordan. That's okay. Ryan Coogler is the director.
There you go.
See how you got that.
All right. So I know that he has a Black Panther suit, but there's that scene where it has, like, there's two suits standing next to each other, and there's also like it looked. Was that like his dad's suit and like his suit?
Yeah. I mean, well, his sister Shuri in this in the MCU. Is like the main like technological like innovator for Wakanda. So she's designing stuff. So I wonder if it's like, hey, I have all these different prototypes of Black Panther suits.
Because one of them looked really like legit.
Yeah, it looked like kind of reminded me a little more of and that's what's interesting with the gold one that forms around Michael B. Jordan is that almost looks more like the classic Black Panther. Like he had like the gold kind of like accents and stuff in the costume.
The classic one did. Now it's more like silver and. So
yeah, and it has that purple kind of energy to it, which is super cool. Which I think visually is just really, really.
I wonder
rad.
if they're going to flashback not when it's T'Challa being Black Panther, but like when his dad was. And I feel like
why not?
I maybe have read that a little bit. Like if it was like.
Well, if you did, don't tell me about it.
Well, I'm trying to think. Is there a flashback to like King T'Chaka? Like, is he going to be Black Panther for a little bit? Like as they tell the legend of the Black Panther.
That'd be cool, man, to show a little bit of that lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
dude, why not? Legacy is a big part of Black Panther, so I mean, why not?
And was it Martin Freeman doing the voiceover in the beginning?
Yeah.
Was that okay? I was like, who's this guy? Who's this guy talking?
Dude, and seeing Claw, like having his, like, it's maybe not technically his sonic disruptor, his crazy, weird satellite hand, but it's kind of close, which is pretty cool to see.
So he's teaming up like with Killmonger, it looks like, in some parts, and so I don't know. I'm excited. I'm starting to put things together, but I don't want to put it all.
Yeah, I don't want to put anything together past what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
But the one thing I was going to say about T'Challa's sister Shuri, showing him the suits, she actually suited up as Black Panther at some point in the comics too.
Oh, she did? Was she like the Panther?
No, dude.
Just kidding. Panther,
wow.
Jokes. That's just
bad joke.
Based upon, that's how they name stupid stuff in comics. Well, they probably call her Lady Black Panther or something like Lady. This
I think it was more recent, so they probably just went with Black Panther.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Jeez, Justin.
All right, so what are you going to rate this, Matt? Come on.
Oh, gotta go. Like, I know we give too many of those away, but this deserves it. This
is totally a gotta go. This is like, without a doubt, like,
dude.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
And we've talked about it before, like with the other trailer and just with the announcement of the cast, even before that. Like, every time something new comes out about this movie, not just comic book fans lose their minds, but like everyone is like looking at this saying, I'm like, there's multiple people like that. I'm like, this is going to be a personal holiday. I'm going to take a day off of work. Like, I'm going to roll up, with as many people as I can. Like, people are getting excited about this movie in a way that I haven't seen for a lot of
I'm really curious how it's going to, like, I think it's going to be something cool. Like it's going to be a big deal. I think it's probably be one of Marvel's biggest.
I agree.
Yeah. Mark my words.
You better believe we're going to dedicate an entire episode to that sucker in a few months. Cool, man. So, I mean, news, we're just talking about trailers today because we got to move on to some other stuff. So, before we move on to the CW premieres, let's talk about comic books a little bit. A little bit of a light week, so it'll be just a few minutes. Super light week. Do you want to start off with yours?
Yeah, Batman 33. I mean, every other week it's Batman, and I know we always don't like review stuff, but this one was Tom King is just doing fun stuff.
It's cool, man.
I just think that
and we're going to spoil this too. We're going to speak freely about this.
Yeah, we will speak freely, so
but I would say it's a let's go.
It's definitely a let's go. It's not quite like, again, with it's like I can't give single issues gotta goes unless they really knock really like that. Special. Okay, like the Swamp Thing issue with Mitch Gerard, that was great. That was like, that's a gotta go. That issue was a gotta go, and the whole world needs to, like, read that comic because it was beautiful, and I feel like there's gonna be a payoff with it later on. But anywho.
Yeah. So we got Batman 33.
Batman 33.
First thing that stuck out to me was the cover. You have Batman on horseback.
Yeah.
It's basically the what would be the name for it? The desert garbed Batman from Batman v Superman.
It's the nightmare suit. It's
yeah. So that's like official DC canon now.
Well, yeah, but I don't feel like it's I'm trying to think, like, they're not trying to say like Batman has nightmares and stuff in there, but like
no.
I think it was
but
a
that
wink
costume though.
I think it was a wink and a nod, like, hey, Batman's in the desert, he's gonna get. I thought it was cool.
Like, I thought it looked great.
The whole thing was cool, and then I loved seeing. Okay, there's Batman and his fiancée Catwoman going to the desert and handling some business, and she was still very Catwoman, like
and he was saying, "I love you, Cat. I love you, Bat."
Yeah,
like, I love
it's
like
good,
that stuff.
Man.
It's just.
How do you feel about any of that? Like, some people don't like the Bat and Cat.
I think it's
What's
good.
your thoughts on that?
I think it makes sense. Like, it wouldn't make sense for them to say Catwoman and Batman to each other. But then it also, if they're in their personas, especially for him, they're not going to refer to each other as Bruce and Selina. Yeah. So I'm like, it would make sense for them to have like shortened, like, kind of pet names. Like, that's what all couples do.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be way more weird for like Batman to refer to her as like babe. Or like, hey, you know what I mean, honey, or something like that. Like, that'd be more weird. And this one, I'm like, no, this makes sense. I like it, and I think it has a certain like kind of poetry to it, you know, where it feels like it works.
Yeah,
I dig it.
I love it, dude. First off, gosh, who was doing the art on this one? Because it was different. It was.
Oh yeah, let me pull that up real quick. It is Joelle Jones.
I thought the art was really good.
It was great.
Yeah, like the stuff with all the Robins and Duke Thomas, like that was really cool. Like, and I put that out because he's like, they call him a Robin. He's like, I'm not a Robin. Part. Like that was just fun. Like seeing them all like hang out. It was kind of like sad. Like, oh, Tim's not there. But
yeah,
I thought that was good stuff. It was kind of rough. Like Batman with a shotgun killing a horse. Like you got to put it out of its misery. Like just like
yeah. Well, I mean, that was Catwoman that did it though.
Well,
like she's the one that put it out.
He gives her the gun, and so
that's true.
It's like by proxy. That's the hard part.
He's
like,
using a gun.
Yeah, but Batman's. I don't think that he's against using a gun in a situation where, like, he shot Darkseid with it.
Well, and he's not using.
Yeah, and he's not using it. But it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, let the horse suffer? Like,
yeah, he doesn't like shut down all the cops from using their guns.
Yeah,
he's like, stop using guns. Like, it's his role for him.
Yeah.
I will say, like, we could probably move on here, but the moment where all the Robins are talking.
Yeah.
After they find out, and Jason Todd blames Duke. He's like, this is all your fault. Like, you're supposed to brighten him up. You're the most recent one. And I love it. He's like, dude, when you were Robin, you got dead, then came back as a vigilante villain. And you're telling me to brighten his dark side?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, nice.
I love that. That's the type of stuff that I like in a Batman book. Because Batman's dark, but like it's when his family gets together, and especially you get a bunch of dudes that are just going to riff on each other.
Yeah, you got to have some good banter, you know.
Yeah, and so
banter.
Tom King is writing it really well. Like everyone felt, going back to the beginning of the show, we're talking about like the Robins we don't like, da. I like Jason Todd in here, and I like that Dick, calls him Jay. Like it's like they're together, they're hanging out, they're loose, they're comfy, they're just like, and I like that they all have their colors on too. Like,
yeah, no, that was kind of a cool detail.
Yeah,
I agree.
Good stuff. I'm
cool,
really looking forward to this book in another like 2 weeks. So,
yeah, I'm for it. Let's go, man.
Yeah, this Batman by freaking Tom King is a let's go. You got to be buying this comic. Like, you're missing out on just some of the best Batman. Like,
yeah.
Again, and we said it before. Like, the main Batman book's been really good for like the last 5 years. Like from Scott Snyder all the way up until now, it's been good Batman comics. This is good stuff to mine for other media as well. Like these are good stories. So. Oh
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
So my one book I got this week was Aquaman number 29. And that continues to be a great book. The art still is freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. I think the movement and the stuff that he does, like with everything taking place underwater. It never feels like weird underwater, but it doesn't feel like they're like just standing around on the ground either.
Yeah.
You have, undead people talking to people, trying to lead them to, artifacts that they need. You have Aquaman taking care of business, trying to learn about being a hero and stuff like that from hanging out with Dolphin. You have Mira and Tempest trying to make their way in to help Aquaman. It seems like it moves the character forward really well. And I'm still just really, really loving, I think it's Abnett's writing. Mm-hmm. It feels, I think I've said before, like just a really great balance where he feels kind of like regal, but he's not like so distant and like kingly that he's not relatable still.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is him realizing, like, I think he's been not taking on the responsibility of trying to dethrone the current king of Atlantis because he doesn't want to be king. He doesn't think he'll be a good king, and people don't want him to be king. And it's him coming to the terms of like, he can still be Aquaman and help people without feeling like he's going to need to be king after he helps people. So that seemed like the main thing. Man, but that art is still just so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that book's still a let's go for me, man. I'm glad I started picking it up. I'm going to continue to get that for the time being. And it's really great. Like it's a good like cliffhanger on the last page where you're like, what's gonna happen?
I like how they color his scales on his shirt. Like, looks like a cool. Looks different than what I saw before in some of it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I like it, man. This feels like the real like rebirth for Aquaman, like kind of setting a new status quo for him. This feels like that's what this is doing, even though he's had a book the entire time for Rebirth.
It's like they're kind of getting their groove.
Yeah, I felt like the first part of Rebirth was kind of getting him and Mira back together, and then getting him out of the King of Atlantis role, and now it's like, but this is what he's going to be from here on out, which I dig. Yeah. Aquaman 29. So let's go.
Cool.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. You ready?
Here we are.
We're here.
We're about to dive in.
All right. One day we need to just do a whole episode on CW shows, like not just like the newest episode, but like
just talk about them in general.
Yeah, our thoughts.
Well, we could talk about that now. Let's do just a little background on what has your background been with CW shows.
Yeah, I would say I was pretty pumped for Arrow when it came out, you know. And when it came out, it was really aping Batman Begins. Just even in the like trailers and promos, or like, you know. And that first episode was very Batman Begins-y, like, you know, he was away, and, you know, here's the Green Arrow and Batman, and they have a similar like origin. Rich guys, bad things happen to them, fight crime. You know, Green Arrow's is different. I mean, they've made changes to it over the years to where,
right.
You know, well, he, you know, was lost at sea and he trains on the island. Like the Andy Diggle and Jock, like, origin they did, not like maybe 8 years back now. Really good. Like, that's probably the definitive, like.
Is that where the character Diggle got his name from?
Yep.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
That's a kind of an homage.
I almost corrected you. I was like, no, that's a character on the show.
No. So that was totally intentional. It's kind of a little Easter egg. And then, which is really weird because now they put him into
now he's in the comic.
Yeah. I don't know if he's in the current run, but I remember he was in the New 52.
He was in when Rebirth launched. He was part of it.
Oh, is he? Okay, cool. And so it started to grow on me. I remember like episode 2 of the first season. I just remember that first opening scene where he's on rooftops just shooting people with arrows, dude. And he was like, no prisoners, just handling people. But I had some issues. I remember having issues because I was like, can we just put him in the freaking mask? Like, why are you putting grease paint on his face?
Oh, dude, that went on way too long.
That. Like, it was really goofy.
Dude, when they made fun of the idea of calling him Green Arrow that first season, like,
that Christmas episode. I remember they're all hanging out around like the table.
They called him the Hood or the Vigilante. Like, they just had dumb names where I'm like, they kept that Smallville thing going for a while. I was like, why? Guys.
The Red Blue Blur. The Blue Red Blur. What the heck it was called? They called Superman.
Yeah. Which is really funny because I remember the episode that The Flash was on.
Yeah.
That was season 2.
Season 2.
And it instantly felt different.
Mm-hmm.
And
then
they
weren't afraid anymore.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. And then once his show started and it was really popular, like it did really well the first season.
Yeah.
That's when you saw everything moving towards Star City, Green Arrow. Like they're like stopped being ashamed that it was a comic book character, because I feel like they almost like painted themselves into the corner too, calling it Arrow, because now it's like it's always going to be called Arrow, even though he's not going by that anymore.
Yeah. The title doesn't bug me so much anymore, but it was like this. We can't call him Green Arrow. Like, you know that there was a bunch of guys in a room going, "Can't call him Green Arrow. That's no one's gonna buy that. That's stupid." You know, like then don't make a show about Green Arrow. If you're gonna put him in a green suit, he's gonna shoot arrows, which is already kind of goofy and ridiculous. Like, call him Green Arrow. And then they totally like Black Canary is the biggest like frustration I have, because I love Black Canary. She's my favorite character on Injustice too. Like, she's just the best.
Oh, dude, she's way cool.
The best. But they don't know what the heck they're doing. Like, we're gonna call her Laurel. Like, her name's like Diana Laurel Lance, and they call her Laurel, and then it's like, oh, we'll bring her sister in. Like, wait, now she's got the sister who's like the Black Canary. Like,
well, she's the Canary.
Well, she was the Canary, yeah. And then she becomes like, then she's an alcoholic, and then she's a district attorney, and then she learns how to be Black Canary because she trained with Wildcat like for 2 days, and then they got rid of Wildcat, which I thought that was kind of cool to have Wildcat on the show, but it was like a young version, not an old version.
Yeah.
Just all these weird things, and his sister, like he has a sister, and then just like, and then freaking Felicity. Oh man, I don't like Felicity. Like, we talked about this. It comes up randomly. Felicity is the freaking worst character on the show. She's absolutely the worst. She's basically Oracle, but if like Oracle had a crush on Batman and then they got married and didn't get married and then moved to a weird land and then came back and then broke up and then just hooked up with the Atom and then I don't know, man. It just I don't it's so far off. And then they keep trying to recover like, oh, we'll have a different Black Canary. They've had like 4 Black Canaries on this show. And now they're trying to make the new one like, oh, this is the Black Canary. And it's just like,
you don't buy it?
I don't buy it, dude. It's almost like you guys ruined the mythology. And here's the thing. Stephen Amell is such a cheerleader for this show. He's a good ambassador to these shows in this universe. Like he goes out there, he's great with the fans. Yeah. He truly likes being the character, but he only has so much say in like where the storyline goes. Right. I mean, maybe he does now, but I just feel like this show has biffed it so hard in certain things. There's been parts where I'm like, oh man, season 2 was awesome.
It was really good.
But man, they could have made it way more awesome if they just didn't. If they would have killed the Elicity idea back in season 3, I think they could have recovered really well. Like even calling it Starling City in the beginning was dumb, and they tried to go, oh no, there's going to be a payoff for it. There wasn't.
There's no payoff.
There was no payoff.
You just decided to finally call it
Starling City. Like that doesn't even make sense to me.
So you primarily watched Arrow at the beginning. Did you keep up with Flash and the other ones very much?
Yeah. I watched Flash. Like I think I dipped off of Flash last year.
Okay.
Season 3 just starting to bore me.
Then we have Legends of Tomorrow.
I like Legends of Tomorrow.
All right, and then
Supergirl.
Yeah. Which I don't think either of us had followed closely.
Only watched a few. I tried catching up on Supergirl last year when it moved to CW, just because I don't even have like regular cable, so I don't have CBS.
Right.
Would watch my shows on Hulu, and so once it hit the CW, I was like, okay, I'll watch some of it, and I caught up, and she's really cute, like her personality and everything. Like, so you like her, but everything else about the show is kind of
goofy. She plays a likable character for sure.
They went off again. They take things and they try to merge them, like Hank Henshaw as John Jones, and it's really weird. And so I don't.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. They don't know what they're doing.
So speaking of Supergirl, we can start there. We can just go in order of the broadcast schedule, right? Because Supergirl is on Monday nights.
Monday nights on the CW.
It's the one that Justin's had the most time to watch, and yet
I didn't watch that one. Sorry.
I almost gave up about halfway through. I'm not going to lie.
I actually felt really bad. Like even on the way over today, I was like, "Dude, Matt watched all of them." Like he really was like, "I love."
Put in the work.
He put the work in, and I actually I was feeling really bad. I was like, I probably could have watched it last night, but I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Come on.
I know, dude. It was just like I just have no interest in Supergirl. I really don't. Like, and again, like I was saying, she's such a good like portrayal of her. You love her. I can't wait to see her like on the crossover stuff.
So here's the thing about this episode.
Yeah.
She's not nearly as likable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's really angry.
Oh.
Because Mon El from last season, who apparently was a romantic interest.
Yes.
She had to send him away.
Why?
I think is what she said. To save the world.
Did that happen off screen or?
I have no idea. Dude, this is the one I'm going in blind on the most.
I don't know what happened.
So but whatever happened, she now is... Guys, we're going to spoil these episodes.
Yeah, we're spoiling these. If you didn't watch them, you're lucky.
That's fine. You could just listen to this. But what that's not forced her to do, what she's chosen to do out of that is just fully embrace being Supergirl. Mm-hmm. Like at one point, she was like, basically like, Kara Danvers sucks and Supergirl's awesome. So why would I choose to be that? Like, she's basically like, screw trying to pretend to be human. Like, I'm just going to do this and it does better stuff and I could just put myself into this. Which I actually thought was an interesting point for the character, because it wasn't like she was mopey, but she was going around getting stuff handled. They were talking about how like the city was like turned around single-handedly by her. But
the city,
you couldn't just do that, because then she wasn't being friendly to her friends and all that stuff. So
Was Jimmy Olsen still the Guardian?
Not in this episode, but he's running Catco now.
Okay. That's cool.
He used his signal watch to call her at one point, which I was like, that's kind of fun.
Superman, don't call me.
It's still weird to have such a hunky, like, Jimmy Olsen to me.
Well, he's got to grow up, you know?
Yeah, which that's fine. Like, not everything needs to be like G. Willikers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I really like my kid watched, he wanted to watch Superman Returns the other day. And I liked Jimmy Olsen in that movie. I thought he was a good Jimmy Olsen. I did too.
He was the kid from that Tim Allen movie back in the day where he grew up like in the jungle or something like that.
Jungle? Was that it?
Was that what it was called? I don't know.
Like I remember he was in Detroit Rock City.
Oh yeah.
He was in that movie. But anyway,
yeah,
sorry.
Then probably never did anything after.
Yeah, he was. No, you know what he did? He did another movie with freaking Brandon Routh called Dylan Dog something. They were like supernatural detectives or something.
Oh gosh.
I think they're buddies.
That's funny.
He really is his pal. He like calls him on his watch.
He is his pal. He has a Brandon Ruth watch.
Can I get on? Can I get on Legends of Tomorrow?
Come on, man.
Can I be Snapper Carr? Oh no, they can't because they ruined Snapper Carr on Supergirl.
On Supergirl, yeah. Anyway, so you watch that?
Yeah, I've seen Supergirl. I know enough to like if I had to go visit Supergirl, I know where the characters are and stuff.
So here's kind of the highlights or lowlights. Here's the main points, I guess I should say. The kind of most immediate threat for the episode is a character named Bloodsport, which I just knew as a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, but apparently that's a DC character.
Kind of racist, like depending on the interpretation.
This is the original one. Okay. Robert Dubois or Du Bois, however you say it, like who was African American, introduced in 1987. I think is what that character was.
Yeah.
But he was like nothing. Didn't have a costume. Didn't have any like special powers or anything. He was just a mercenary, which that was a bummer. And he was working for a character just introduced, which I'm guessing can be recurring for this this season. Morgan Edge, played by Adrian Pasdar. So this guy's been in a few different things.
Okay. I know Morgan Edge. He's always been like a...
Heroes, the show. He was Nathan Petrelli, the older brother that was like running for senator or whatever. Yeah. And he was also in... You didn't watch him in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Was he in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, he was the military dude with the mustache.
Oh, that's right. He was...
I wish I could remember the character's name.
Yeah, because he was actually a character like, oh dang, he's a well-known like Marvel character.
Yeah, so I mean, he's like making the rounds as far as like well-known characters like now. So Morgan Edge, like from the comics, gosh, was he like in charge of Intergang?
Yeah, he was in charge of Intergang, but he also like ran a competing not like a Daily Planet, but like I think a news network. And I remember there was a thing where he was trying to exploit like Cat Grant or something.
Interesting, because his main thing is he's kind of the main guy that's kind of putting the city back together after the last big fight.
He's not.
And so he doesn't like that Catco is running articles saying like how bad of a person he is, and so he tries to buy Catco to control it.
He's bad.
But then, the twist.
Lena
Luthor buys Catco instead and owns it.
Of course.
Because she's best friends with Supergirl.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. Like, there's interesting vibes there between the two of them where I'm like, you keep saying, like, talking like you're best friends.
But it doesn't
feel like it.
It's like they're forcing the whole Lex Luthor, Smallville, Superman deal.
It doesn't feel like something that's earned. And Lena Luthor's accent sounds weird. Like it's like she's gonna have an accent, but then not quite have an accent.
She's like, I'm kind of like Madonna, but not really.
Yeah, so that whole dynamic was kind of weird. So the other part that stuck out to me a little bit, I had to actually look up to see like what the heck is going on. But when all this pandemonium is breaking out, this woman that you kind of randomly run into, and she has a daughter and stuff, and they're at this statue unveiling for the Girl of Steel statue. I know, right? You have, like, her daughter gets stuck underneath, like, some truss, like some steel or whatever. And she's like, no, like I have to save you. And then all of a sudden gets like super mom strength and like crushes like part of the stuff underneath her hand and gets it off of her. And so it's kind of this moment of like, what the heck is going on? Yeah. And so the interesting thing is the episode starts with like a dream sequence that Supergirl is having where she is walking through like a gladiator kind of wheat field. You know what I mean? Like from the movie Gladiator when he's just like his hands going through the wheat field and stuff. It's similar to that. And so Mon-El is there and then some woman that I don't know if I'm supposed to know who it is there in like a Kryptonian kind of like garb. So that's over. But then at the end of the episode, you see that same woman in that dream sequence, but then it's this mom character wakes up. Huh. And so you're like, wait, what? And so I had to look it up. So Reign, R-E-I-G-N, the New 52 character designed for being the main bad guy for Supergirl in that run, is the main bad. And that's what this character is going to end up being, apparently. Oh. So that was the thing where I was like, I don't care about this show, but I'm actually curious to see what happens with that.
They got part you, of the story. They got you.
No, I'm not.
You're going to be
probably not going to make the time for this.
You're a Supergirl appreciator now. You're just
Supergirl appreciator.
Yeah, let me get a cup. The Supergirl appreciator logo.
So it's interesting. Like, I feel like I've seen this before where like something hard happens to the hero at the end of the previous season. So they start this season. They're like, I'm in a bad mood. Everyone else, and I'm going to do it myself and no one else can help me. And everyone's like, that's a dumb idea. You need help. Like, it's happened in every show I think they've done. So that part of it felt kind of old to me. This was just a go for me. It's not a don't go. It's not like you shouldn't do it.
It's not a terrible show. Nah. It's again, it has the issues that Arrow has. It's like, why did you change that?
Because I don't even care about stuff they changed. It just wasn't compelling. And I feel like I'm noticing in all the CW shows too, whenever there's like a car chase or something, they do like the same sweeping camera shot from like the back of the car around to the front of the car.
It's a good shot.
I guess it's just like, I feel like nothing looks different.
It's a way of portraying like the speed of Supergirl, because like you'll have nothing, and then when they swing it around, she's usually at the front of it, like stopping it or something like that.
Which usually the effects of her flying and super speed looks pretty good on the show. I thought that looked a little wonky this episode too.
Really? Oh, okay.
There's just times where I'm like, you're literally just putting your hands out in front of yourself and like
she's on a chair in an office,
just slowly going through everything. I don't know. And they have her stand around a lot while she's fighting too, which I'm like, I get it. You can't have her flying all the time, but I'm like, when you see Superman fight, like he almost never is on the ground. Like he's always moving around. Yeah. But I get it. It's a TV show.
The fighting on Supergirl isn't as good as it is on like Arrow.
It is not as good as any of the other shows.
Yeah.
All right. So we can move past that. I don't want to spend too long talking by myself. Let's get into stuff.
So there you go. You're going to give it a go. I'm going to give it a I don't know. It's a dead Robin. There we go. All
right, so moving to Tuesday night, we got The Flash. The Flash, season 3. Justin.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about this episode?
So, okay, man.
Start with what you liked, because I feel like
I like the new suit. Quicker. I like the new suit. I liked that. I liked Vibe. You know, working and
being vibe
with Kid Flash in the beginning. That was cool. Like seeing them like team up. So yeah, that was cool. That's all I got. That I liked.
Really? Wow.
Everything else was like whatever. Like why is Iris working now in the freaking like Flash cave? Like why she knows how to use all that stuff now? They just trained her. Like hey, here's all this really like Cisco. And freaking...
there's a lot of work put into getting her to being a reporter like Iris is in the comics.
Exactly.
And then like, no,
not anymore. And like, I'm also a reporter / scientist person. I know how to do all the science stuff.
Flash.
I'm the head of Team Flash.
She doesn't know how to do the science stuff. Dude, she's just leading and kind of directing.
Dude, freaking Caitlin and Cisco have gone to school to be science people. and all of a sudden like, anyone can come in here and run this stuff. Guess you know why? Because they said, Felicity showed me how. A little side comment. Felicity just kind of came over here when she wasn't obsessing about Oliver. She kind of came over here and she taught me about how to use all the Flash stuff. Anyways,
which spoilers? I guess we know she makes it off the island from the
cliffhanger
from the previous
season. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, that was just hokey.
You didn't like the Samuroid?
The Samuroid was so stupid.
Oh, dude, I kind of liked it. It was
the Samuroid. I mean. It was an interesting choice for a villain.
And it was a homage to a Flash cover too.
It was?
Did you know that? When he holds like Wally up like on his sword like that. That was a Flash cover, I want to say like 166 or something.
Oh,
like
I don't know. I have to
but
see it.
It's kind of a kooky, fun idea, and it's not. I don't know. I didn't hate the Samuroid, which is based off of a character named Baron Katana.
Yeah,
from back in the day.
Baron Katana. Hey, I'm Baron Katana. I am not a Samuroid.
You may know me from my other. So Samuroid. We've actually seen them recently in comics.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
I am Button. Batman
Button?
number 21. When the Flash needs to get to Batman, he's like, "I need you to come here." When he's fighting people, like in there, he's fighting Samuroids.
He's fighting the Samuroids. Okay, I didn't know they were Samuroids. They were just...
I thought it was kind of fun.
There you go, Samuroids.
A
lot of truck drivers have Samuroids.
How'd you? You gotta take care of those, man. They flare up.
They'll flare up and cut you. So
that katana, man.
Hey. Baron Katana.
Baron Katana, and I'd like to talk to you about Samuroids. Oh man, that's a heck of a PSA. How'd you feel about Beardy Allen?
Yeah, actually, here's what I was really into. I loved all his equations and all the weird like stuff he was like saying,
like the gibberish kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was like, this. Okay, I was actually really compelled. I was like, okay, what is going on here? Like, this is gonna be weird. How are they gonna like get out of this? And they did very fast, very quick. Because
Iris was in trouble.
I all it took was true love to set him free. That's all it was. Kiss. I didn't want it to go on for 5 episodes. At least a 2-parter.
Yeah, maybe not. 2/3 of the way through one episode.
Yeah, it was like it was.
I will say this: that is a consistent thing across every one of these episodes. To me, they have like. We're going to set this up as like, what's going to happen next season? What's going to happen next season? You mean next episode? Like that's literally everything's fixed by the episode. And not that there's no implications or no mysteries going forward, but it's like the big questions, like you literally didn't spend any time answering it, dude.
Well, somebody said this on Twitter today because before came over, I was just tweeting stuff out. And I wasn't stirring a pot. We're just talking. And I forget who it was, but they're like, well, it's TV. But I'm like, yeah, you have longer time to get to stretch like a decent story. I don't like when stuff is like treading water. Like there's times like, dude, wrap it up. Like I felt like season 3 of The Flash was like that. But give me a couple episodes of him trying to figure out and acquaint himself with like life. Like when it becomes the end of a Disney movie, that's stupid. True love is not gonna like rescue him at the end of time. Like,
so here's a little bit of headcanon in me like connecting the dots.
Okay.
It's been a thing in Flash comics before that they have like their, I don't know what you would call it, their like home base, their lightning rod, their something that's going to call them back, right? Iris is that for Barry.
That's true.
She always has been. Yeah. Now, that's me explaining it for the show, which should not need to happen. It should be something that you explain.
Okay, so you just saying that makes me a little less uppity about it. I'm like, okay. But you're right. They didn't say that. They didn't say that's never been. And maybe it's episode 2. Maybe they go, hey, you know what?
It could be.
How did you break free? You know why?
I love you.
Because of my Flash love for you. I'm an appreciator of you, Iris.
I appreciate you.
I'm an Iris appreciator. I don't know.
It's a DJ Khaled that I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, girl.
So that aspect.
Team Kid Flash. Sorry, I like Team Kid. We should call it
and
Team
everyone's
Kid
like, the whole time, like, no, it's not a thing. Okay, so Kid Flash, different hairstyle. I want to say he looked different in general. Did he look thinner? Skinny?
He did. He looked skinnier.
I was like, he looks kind of sick. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, is he okay?
Yeah. He used to have, it looked like his shoulders used to be a little bit like broader. Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I don't think speedsters need to be. It was more like I was like, I feel like with any new season premiere, it's like when you watch through all 10 seasons of Friends. Like when you have a season premiere, you're like, whoa, someone got a tan, or like that haircut's different. You know what I mean?
Someone was in rehab this summer,
right? Or it's like, wow, you dropped 40 pounds from that scene that supposedly just happened.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I noticed that.
Look any thinner?
Hey. I just noticed that on shows like this. And so I think I noticed that for his character specifically.
Yeah.
He's still a fun character. I think it's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. That just stuck out to me. I was like, whoa, like, is Kid Flash, like, sick?
Right. Maybe.
So, Caitlin...
Sick, bro.
Caitlin Snow is another character that supposedly was a big cliffhanger of like, what's going to happen with her? And then she just came right back.
Yeah.
This episode. How'd you feel about her being in the mix? Because I know that's been another point of contention. She's not quite the Felicity of this show, but she's definitely one of those characters where I'm like, you have nothing compelling to add to this story.
She does nothing for me.
Does nothing for me.
You know, actually, at the end was kind of cool where she ran into like whoever that dude was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever she goes like more like Killer Frost.
Yeah,
she gets interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the other stuff, I'm like, I'm tired of this. Like, I need to fight it. Like,
they maybe just need to put her on Legends of Tomorrow.
Why not, man?
They need a cold person.
They need a cold.
Hey.
Well, I mean, Heatwave barely does any Heatwave things anymore. So
I'm Heatwave. I talk like this.
He's
got to hurt his throat, dude. He's got
dude, right?
Special
He's got a cool low voice, though. Hey. So then we have. And here's what I think they were trying to do with Barry, to go back to that for a second. I get it, man. You're trying to get to the new status quo as soon as you can.
Yeah.
I get it. Because they've talked multiple times.
What's the new status quo? The same status quo.
No, they've talked multiple times about, like, they're finally going to get married, and Barry's going to be a different person. He's going to be way more upbeat.
Cool.
And I'm like, cool. So I get that you have to do that. You can't jump straight to that from him coming out of the Speed Force and sacrificing himself to save the city. Mm-hmm. So there has to be some carryover. I get that. I think it would be good to like not just jump straight into it. Like you said, it's similar with Flashpoint from last season. It seemed like this huge deal that it's like Flashpoint. And then again, like half an episode in, it was done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So anyway, we have that. The main kind of reveal at the end of the show was the big bad, and that would be the Thinker.
Yeah.
Which
at first I was like, he looks like Brainiac because he had like his weird skulls on his head. I was like, what? But,
dude, I'm down for a non-speedster villain. I'm really curious to see how that helps him out this season.
Yep, I agree. I'm 100% about no racing, no Speed Force stuff.
I'll race you, and then the winner gets to... Oh gosh, dude, it's bad. So, what? Any other things you would add, or you want to just rate it?
Yeah, let's rate it.
Okay, go for it, man.
It was a go. It was a go and a half. There you go.
Yeah.
It wasn't like awful, but it was like
yeah, I feel like I'm in that area too of like a go and a half, let's go. Like I don't think it's quite a let's go for me, even though obviously I'm going to keep watching the show.
Yeah.
I know it's going somewhere. I think I'm in for it.
Did you watch
This was
last
not
night's?
A super exciting episode. No, I have not watched last night's. I spent last night catching up on these episodes, Justin, because I have priorities in life.
Okay. Well. You're right.
Oh man! And if my priorities are CW shows, I am in trouble.
There you go. All right, so moving on to
it's a new Tuesday night slot. I don't know if really programming matters that much to people in the schedule.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know. So Wednesday nights is Legends now, right?
Tuesday nights after the Flash.
Oh,
is
right
Legends
after the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. Okay.
Yep. So we go to Legends of Tomorrow.
Bum. Yeah.
Season 3 now, right?
Yeah.
All right. Take us through it a little bit, Justin.
Yeah, so opens up with the dinosaurs, which I thought was cool. Here's what I love. Preface, because we didn't really get to talk about Legends Tomorrow too much in the beginning, right? It's just that fun, goofy. It feels like the old shows on Saturdays they'd play, like Hercules, Xena, and Cleopatra 25, whatever that show was. Like it feels like one of those shows where it's supposed to be goofy and silly. And I love the time adventures because it makes it a little more fun. Because you get to do some fun stuff like that. George Lucas episode I finally watched because I skipped a lot of last season. I like when they go into a different time and they explore like the 50s in the Old West, and it just, that part to me is fun, and to me it would be a really fun time on set, and I like how the cast has good chemistry for me, so that's part of why I think I enjoy it, because the characters seem to get along well, and they probably have more of a fun. It feels like it's a funner set to me. But so yeah, they come across these dinosaurs, and then end up with what's his face? I can't think of his name. Sorry, I'm having a brain.
Rip Hunter,
and he's assembled the Time
Bureau.
The Time Bureau, because the Legends have completely messed. Even though they saved the world last season, they've messed up. In saving
the world, they destroyed time.
They destroyed time, and it was pretty bad. And so, anyways, they're not the Legends of Tomorrow anymore. They're all doing their mediocre things. So I like that like Ray is working on like the dating app and stuff like that. And okay, so what's his face using the same dating app that Ray made?
Yes.
Okay, I was like, it had to be.
I thought that was pretty. That was funny. That was a nice touch.
Sarah, I like Sarah, like her daydreams about killing the people she works with at like the Bed Bath & Beyond thing, and yeah,
she is the worst.
She is the worst. I like the idea of her being the White Canary. I think that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I didn't like her as the Black Canary. Nothing really happened this episode. Nothing major. Like just like
yeah, it was a lot of table setting.
Yeah, a lot of table setting. You know, the Time Bureau, like
it was whatever. Like I did not enjoy this episode very much at all.
Yeah, it wasn't okay. Let me just tell you, it wasn't a for someone who's not well invested into the show. It wasn't going to do anything for you, you know. So, but
yeah, like
I
like
don't
honestly,
know what else
like
to say, you know. Like,
so here are my thoughts on it. Mm-hmm. I don't have to belabor it too long. Sarah Lance, right? Is the character's name? I was trying to remember. I was like almost she is the most unlikable character I feel like I've come across on any of these shows.
Really?
Like I just do not feel like drawn to her. Like I want to cheer for her. I feel the opposite for Ray Palmer. I feel like the way Brandon Ruth plays that, like, it's just so fun.
Yeah, he's
and
good.
So like into everything. Like he's great. He's not over. Maybe it's this. He's the only character that's not trying to take everything so seriously all the time.
Yeah.
Because when they do, they look really dumb. Because like literally the entire time, this could be like a drinking game and we would be smashed 10 minutes in, is them talking about how big of idiots these people are.
Yeah.
They refer to them that all the time through this entire thing. And so
they're known to be the losers. That's why they picked them.
Right. But I'm saying when you dig into that idea too much, you can't expect me to feel like there's stakes or that I should care or that they're going to succeed. And so when it's like this big, like, we're getting the band back together, I'm like, but it doesn't matter if you do, right? Because you guys suck at what you do. So why? They obviously don't need you. Because like the whole way that this show keeps going, like, and you've seen it over and over again the past 2 seasons, is they literally screw everything up every time. Yeah. To where I'm like,
that's the whole point of the show, because they have to fix stuff.
Gosh. We're just going to create more problems so that we have to keep fixing them to create more problems. It
would be cool if they weren't doing time stuff anymore and they just did missions.
And that's the thing too. Like, I am with you on enjoying like time travel stories. I love time travel stories. I'm drawn to those kinds of stories because I think they're so cool and you have so many things you can do with them. They just don't do it well. Like you either have to say like time, like these stories in this time frame is going to keep happening and we were always a part of it. Yeah. Or we have this really lockdown way of saying like, this is how we affected time. And I feel like they're going so far into trying to explain everything, it starts to not make sense and it starts to fall apart. Yeah. No. And so that's where it pulls. It's just one of those things where it pulls me out of the story. Like it's not like I'm not willing to engage. Yeah. But when most of the characters aren't super likable for me, and when you're telling me how big of losers and screw ups they are the whole time, and then when they're supposed to be heroic, they still screw it up. Like. I'm okay if you talk about how big idiots they are, but then they like actually pull through and do something really great. Like that's awesome. Like I'm okay with that. Yeah. But over and over again, like it's literally because think about it. If they fix this, the show's done. Yeah. And so I'm like, you guys have to keep the problem going to sell the solution. And so I'm like, I don't want to keep buying your solution then. Because you've shown me over and over and over again for like 40 something episodes now that it doesn't work. And so I don't know. I get that they're trying to go for like this Guardians of the Galaxy kind of vibe. Like we're the outcasts kind of guys.
Yeah.
But Guardians of the Galaxy, like when you watch like Rocket take out all of those dudes in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, even though people are saying they're a bunch of losers and misfits and stuff.
Yeah.
They kick ass and they do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And this, I just don't feel like that's the case for this. I don't know. That's my main thought for the team.
I slightly disagree.
Okay.
I feel like when they do pull off some of their heroics, it's fun and you get excited for them. Like I think when
Firestorm flies by every 5 episodes,
that's expensive. Yeah, dude. I would say Firestorm was usually on the Wave Rider, like hanging out, like, hey, what are you guys doing? What do you guys need? You know, and then he like shows up when it's like, oh, and then so like when he showed up in this, it was cool. Like you have to put him on.
Yeah.
But yeah. I get what you're saying. I think it's a TV show. You have that caveat of like it is episodic and But
I get that.
But I agree with the point of let's solve this problem. Let's solve the time problem, and maybe you do other things. Maybe there's another time mission you go on that's not repairing the time stream, but like with Booster Gold, maybe there's things that maybe there's artifacts and stuff you need to get to later on. I don't know, and they kind of do that as well. You got freaking
I'm not opposed to the idea, and I get that it's episodic and it's on a TV budget. Like, and I feel like when I watch shows like this, I have like grace and capacity built in to know that. You know what I mean? Like, give them some credit. But for me, like, if you're not drawing me in with character or with other things, like, there's no reason for me to keep watching the show. I don't know. So that's my main thoughts.
You can keep watching the show because Billy Zane's going to be on next episode. So there you go.
Billy Zane. Victor Garber back again.
There you go.
And this thing too is like the writing, especially on this one, I felt like really awkward too.
Okay.
Dialogue felt real weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I don't have a lot to say about Legends of Tomorrow. Like I started losing interest last season, which is really sad because Reverse Flash was in it more, but it just made no sense and wasn't super compelling to me.
Gotcha.
So
yeah. The whole Reverse Flash, the Legion of Doom. Not really the Legion of Doom. That was kind of weak sauce, but
yeah, that wasn't a Legion. Even though they bragged about being able to take down legions.
Yeah.
In this episode, and I was like, you guys didn't
barely made it happen.
Like when your thing is like, I literally took this guy's memory. We're gonna send him on his way, but he grabbed a book out of your hands. You're literally carrying a book about him while you're next to him and you don't notice it. A thick hardbound book is gone out of your hand until you're back on your time traveling ship. Like there's just things where I'm like, I get it, man. Like there needs to be things that go wrong that keep the story going, but good grief, can we think of better things to keep it going?
Maybe they just don't care. I don't know. Maybe they're like, it's
potentially
fine.
Which that's fine because that's why I'm like, okay,
like
I don't need to
effects.
invest in
this show's about effects. I would say give it a couple more episodes. Watch two more, and I'll watch Supergirl. So all right, so let's move to the final one, to Arrow.
What would you rate Legend of Tomorrow before we move on?
It's a go. It's a go. I enjoy it because it's like it's kind of schlocky and fun. Yeah. Like that's all I'm watching it for. Is like, hey, they're superheroes, and I like
that barely do superhero things. Like there was literally a point where they're like, we can't use powers.
I know because there's a budget, and they have to make that ship. So I get that part of it. I like the cast. I like how they are together. I like who they are. So they work well together. They make me. I would want to hang out. I want to be on. If I was to be on a show, that's the show I'd want to be on. They're like, all right, you can be on any CW show. I'd be like, Legends of Tomorrow. Because here's the thing, I could be any character I want. Like, who can you be? Like, I don't know. I'm going to be freaking Rocket Red. All right, cool, you're Rocket Red. Random characters. You can be a random character. I'll be Ambush Bug. There you go.
Yeah.
So
have you watched this week's yet? So you can see Bwana Beast?
Is Bwana Beast in this one?
It looks horrible.
Are you kidding me?
I saw a screen cap of it, and I was like, ooh.
No way. I got to look that up, dude. Bwana Beast on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that who Billy Zane is?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, man. Sorry, everybody. You're going to...
Sorry, we're furiously...
I'm like, Matt Ritchie just made me really excited. He looks like Beast. Beast is a goofy looking dude, man. Like, there's no way to make him cool.
He was way cool on Batman: Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, he was. And on Justice League Unlimited.
Was he on Justice League Unlimited as well? That's cool.
So Beast. Yeah, I mean, he looks like Beast, dude. So.
No, whatever.
It's a guy with a freaking cat mask and Speedo. I mean, that's pretty much that's
Beast. The basic requirements for Beast.
So there you go. All right.
Yeah, I think I would actually give it a don't go this episode.
Okay, that's fine. Dude,
we can agree to disagree, man.
Still be friends. I want you to say don't go. I need you to be a don't go. I need that to be okay.
I can be that for you.
You can be that for me. I can be the don't go.
I'll be your don't go
that this city needs.
Not the one it wants.
Oh man, not the one who wants.
All right. So Thursday night, we're moving on to Arrow.
Yeah, sorry, and we'll go as fast as we can here. Arrow. I knew it. This year, let's make our predictions. We need to do a prediction.
Okay.
Freaking, everyone's gonna live because they're gonna freaking Flash helped us out type of bullcrap. That type of stuff. Like, of course.
Yeah, I don't get
Cisco
it.
helped us out.
It was I was impressed at the end of last season.
Yeah.
That they ended with that cliffhanger. I was like, wow, that's ballsy. Like, nope, good job.
I knew it.
And there was no balls on this, man.
There's no balls. It was
the one character
that
you've seen twice in the course of 5 seasons is the character that dies.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm like, wow. So William's mom, who we knew was probably going to be out of the picture because you needed to.
Well, because they needed to have
him.
William be a wiener the entire episode. Hey, come on, the Batman. The Batman makes me sad. Sorry. William sucks.
I was not here for that. I laughed out loud when everyone was running for cover in the flashback on the island, and no one could seem to run anymore. All of a sudden, they couldn't run. Like they were like falling down and stuff like that. I was like,
it's hard to run in those leather outfits too.
Felicity ate it, like just fell straight on her face. Where I'm like, you've been on this island for how long, and like you can't run 20 feet. It was just funny. It's just one of those things where like it's convenience that like pushes the plot forward, and it's just a bummer when you see that happening. And again, it's what we talked about with the Flash, with Supergirl, with Legends of Tomorrow, where it's all these things of like, whoa, this big change. Actually, we fixed it like in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Which just feels like, man, you guys are using a medium where you have like long form storytelling. Like you can take advantage of that instead of doing the random treading water episode you're going to do in another 5-6 weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, those episodes are coming, so why not fill that with actual story?
Well, because they're setting things up. Like, Diggle is gonna like something bad's gonna happen by his his
he can't
arm.
shoot.
Like, it's what happened? Why did you do it to Diggle? Don't be mad at me, Oliver.
He didn't even shoot his gun
exactly.
in the Arrow cave. I was like, wait, what?
Because it's gonna happen. There's gonna be a plot point where someone dies or gets really hurt because Diggle couldn't shoot. That's why he survived the explosion.
Yeah.
And then, what's her face?
And then it's totally a cop-out, too, when Wild Dog, got shot.
I'm done. I'm out.
Wow. Justin, he's
Dog.
walking... Justin is literally left... He's left the microphone, left the table. I'm guessing this is in reference to Wild Dog's new threads.
Dude, he looks like Ninjak. That's what he looks like. He looks like Valiant Comics Ninjak character.
I was thinking it kind of looked like Deathstroke. Maybe it was like, I'm just going to carry on Deathstroke's legacy, but in black and red.
He looks dumb.
He looks like a New 52 Nightwing.
Yep. He looks like everything but not Wild Dog.
What are all the things that make Wild Dog iconic? Yeah, let's take all of those away.
Yeah. Camel pants? Check. Like jersey with freaking bulldog? Check. Hockey mask? Check.
All of it's gone.
Yeah, no one wants to cosplay that guy. He looks like a generic like sci-fi soldier. That's what he looks like.
He looks like he was in like one of the G.I. Joe movies. Like a foot soldier from that. He looks like, dude, this is fun. What else does he look like? Let's keep going.
What else does he look like? He looks like I was gonna say he looks like
he looks like the reject first order guard that no one wants to hang out with. They're like, oh man, not that guy.
He looks like a Battlestar Galactica like officer. You walk by and that's what they had leftovers. Like, hey, do we got any leftover Battlestar Galactica suits? Yes.
He looks like Jason 2099.
That's funny. That's probably the best one. Jason 2099.
Oh man.
Oh dude. Yeah.
So we don't care for the new costume.
Yeah, it sucks. if you think the new Wild Dog, he doesn't even look like if okay, let's just say new guy comes on the Team Arrow. Like, all right guys, who's this guy? Oh, hey, welcome to the Arrow Cave, Buana Beast. Here's our crew. You know, here's Felicity. She sucks. Don't talk to her. This is Diggle. They call him Diggle because his arm has a wiggle. And then this is, here's Ragman. Here's Mr. Terrific. He's not that terrific. He'll
tell you how terrific he is.
Here's Roy. He's Red Arrow or Arsenal, whatever the heck we're calling him. Yeah. And over here in the corner, that's Wild Dog. Wait, why do you call him Wild Dog?
Well, obviously because of the black and red costume.
The black and red suit. Oh, okay. They're like, oh, okay, man. I thought you just bought like this giant like Star Wars like prop.
Yeah. We had this leftover Masters of the Universe movie costume from the 80s.
Matt Ritchie's on point with his like digs.
Dude, I should have thought through some more of these. This is really fun because that's a really bad costume.
It's the worst. It's an actual. If I was the actor, I'd be bored. I'd be like, "Are you kidding me, dude? This is what I gotta wear." It looks way more uncomfortable.
Yep.
Like at least when he's Wild Dog, you can go take a pee and like, all right, man.
Well, just visually, like it looks like there's no visual interest there for that costume. Okay, so speaking of visual changes, oh crap, what was the character? They call her Black Siren?
Yeah.
Right? Did she have blonde hair last season?
Yeah.
I thought she had dark hair when she was Black Siren.
Oh, man.
And then all of a sudden her hair's like super blonde this time, and they're showing her.
I thought she was dead last season. I thought she
literally got shot in the abdomen, but maybe not.
No way, dude. She lives. So she has to fight freaking, the new Black Canary. So, yeah, she did have black hair last time. She did. Yeah,
I was like, what the heck? It was such a weird
When
change.
you resurrect her, it resurrects her roots.
No, but when they were like, oh, actually, we need to tell you what really happened. She wasn't dead, buried in the rubble. We actually just shot her. Where I'm like, why did you keep that from... That's not even... Out of all of the secrets that have been kept on this show, that's the one you're going to keep?
Dude, this show is predicated on lies. I just won't tell anybody. That's
all right.
what this show is about.
So... We're being pretty negative because there are some goofy things. But I will say, I thought this was actually probably the strongest season premiere out of all of them.
Yeah, but every one of these season premieres was pretty...
was like meh.
Yeah, they're all pretty meh.
Here's what I was impressed with. I feel like we've been told over and over again how good of a leader Oliver is, how charming Oliver is, how whatever Oliver is, but never actually shown it. Mm-hmm. Like, people talk about it. And this was the first one where I'm like, I believe you're mayor.
Yeah.
And I believe you're actually leading people and that you are like calmly speaking to this kid about stuff. I don't know. There was just, it seemed like the first character growth I've seen in Oliver, to where I'm like, man, is this kind of like a new status quo for him too? Just to where like, hey, he's going to just be more confident and be able to handle business and stop second guessing himself. Stop like feeling guilty and moping for everything. Cause even like they had the conversation of like, when are you going to stop taking the sins of others on? And he was like, no, not anytime soon. But it was like almost like lighthearted with it. He wasn't like, oh, I just need to go be alone for a little while and no one be around me. I can only do this by myself. Yeah. Like he wasn't doing anything.
They better not pull that anymore. I'm sick of that.
Stop going to that well.
Yeah.
Because this seems like a decent place for the character to move on from.
Yeah.
So I would say I liked that. And this was one of the first times I've really enjoyed Stephen Amell's acting in this.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is the best I've seen him be. The Black Siren stuff was goofy as hell.
How'd you like the fight though?
Okay, so before you're talking about the
Black Siren, Black Canary
fight. So I'll get to that, but I will say some of the shots of stuff seemed like way more heroic, like fight, like camera shots.
Yeah,
this time, like when he first like comes up in the air, like in that first scene, like shoots the rope up in the air, jumps through, and is like landing on these dudes. I was like,
dude, the arrows in the water. That was awesome. I thought it was like cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like, wasn't that cool?
Yeah,
yeah. So
I felt like it felt like
pieces
super heroic, man.
Yeah, the action pieces are really cool in this show when they do them. Like,
agreed.
I feel like they're always pretty awesome. There was one when they did it. I think it was a team up episode. Before Black Canary died, when it was still Laurel Black Canary.
Oh, was that like the single shot one where they were going through that building? Because that was rad.
It was the one where she comes out of a back of a van and she's like, ah! I just thought that like those like when it gets really comic book action,
Arrow seems like it kind of
Arrow nails it, dude. They have the best. So I feel like they have the best action scenes.
I agree. I think they've
on CW. Let me say.
Yeah, right.
Like, okay. So let's play a game. What was better, Arrow or Iron Fist?
This episode of Arrow?
Sure. Or I was talking about fighting.
Oh, fighting?
Yeah.
Arrow.
There you go.
Sure.
Okay. There you go.
Which breaks my heart to say that. I was going to say, gosh, you're asking about the Black
fight.
Siren, the fight. I thought it was okay. I kind of expected a little more because I feel more convinced that this latest Black Canary can actually fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of expecting more from her. And I just felt like there's a weird vibe from her the whole episode. Like she just seemed like way out of place, which was kind of a bummer to me.
I just think it's the chemistry. I don't feel like she fits. I don't think she has chemistry with any of the other cast. That's what I think it is. I think they hire people on looks. Like, oh, you look hot. CW, check.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think. So
what's funny is toward the end of the episode when Deathstroke just walks into the hospital room and visits Oliver.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. You literally tried to destroy the city a couple years ago. We're kept in like a super prison and you're just, hey man, just hanging out, just checking in.
Hey, we're all dads.
We're all dads here.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you think about the end of the episode?
Yeah,
the little cliffhanger.
Well, yeah, spoilers. We're the spoilers right now because they've already done it. I was like, oh, dang, what are they going to do? Like, how are they going to...
Oh, they released the clip for
yeah, they already released the clip and look what happens. So it's basically like, yeah, people doctor stuff all the time. I'm too busy to do this. I'm the mayor. I don't. If I could do this, I really would be a superhero. And then the most interesting thing they do is say, maybe it was Bruce Wayne or something like that.
Or it could have been.
It could have been Bruce Wayne. So that sucked. Like, that could have been a really interesting storyline. Like, oh, is the mayor the Green Arrow? There could have been.
Well, I doubt that's going to be the last word on it, though.
Yeah, well, that's true, but there could have been like implications, like. So.
I was curious if they were just going to Iron Man it, and he was like, "Yep."
Yeah, but you can't. You can't do that. You can't be.
He wouldn't be able to be mayor anymore.
Yeah, you'd be removed from office. So I don't know, man.
Any other stuff you want to add from Arrow that stuck out to you? How'd you feel about Mr. Terrific actually using T-spheres?
Yeah, the T-spheres. I just think he's Mr.
Literally all he did is he threw a T-sphere at a missile.
If he didn't do that,
like he didn't do anything else the entire episode, man. But hey, you know what? He was an Olympic athlete. I don't know if you knew that.
He was. They have the T-spheres, so those are going to come into play. I bet you someone's going to like get the science on that junk and be like,
so we didn't really get a big bad this episode, which I'm actually cool with. Like I'm okay with them not introducing who the main villain is.
For the season's going to be, again, we were talking off air, Michael Emerson and Richard Dragon. So,
which Michael Emerson is the name of an actor. Richard Dragon is the name of the character.
Yes.
Just in case you're... Because I was super confused earlier when Justin brought it up.
The actor is just going to be like, it's a really interesting choice, but the actor, Michael Emerson, is just the guy. He's pissed.
The actor's name is Red Dragon. Wow. What a name, man. I thought maybe like a wrestler was going to be on the show again or something.
No, Richard Dragon is from the comics.
Man. Yeah. So this one was the strongest one for me that I'm like, yeah, I'll keep watching. Yeah. But I think they turned stuff around a lot last season for Arrow.
Yeah. Arrow picked up in the middle and then dropped off, and then I didn't watch anything, and then I watched the finale where Deathstroke tripped on the beach. So there we go. I still need to get that. I need to make that GIF.
Yeah, we need to make that a GIF, man. So. It felt a little bit like that. Gosh, which show was it? Maybe it was Arrow, where it felt like bad guys were kind of throwing themselves around during one of the fight scenes.
Really? No, that was The Dark Knight Rises. Oh, I got it. I got my Dark Knight Rises dig.
Good grief, man.
We gotta like one day go through all the episodes and like tally all the Dark Knight Rises digs.
Just pull those quotes out.
We'll do a special episode.
Cool, man.
Cool.
I would rate this one. Oh, Let's Go.
Okay, I will too.
Are you just doing that just because I am?
No, I think it's
like
a Let's Go.
You just kind of resigned yourself to like
out of all of them, you have to put them all up on the row on display and be like, nah, which one made me the most excited? Like when I watched Arrow, I was literally like sitting on my couch, like leaned in at least.
Yeah.
And so the other ones, it was like work, you know.
Yeah.
Like Flash was like, come on. I was more like, come on, a lot of that.
Come on, guys, you can do it.
I was, but when everyone survived the island, basically, except Mom.
For Arrow?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
of course.
The more that,
but
like,
it was half expected.
As each character kept coming in, like throughout the episode, I was like, you guys suck.
Because you know Diggle's not going to die.
Anything.
You know, like, the miracle of Felicity dying is never going to happen. They'll never kill Felicity.
I know. Well, they already faked us out on that. What, 2 times, 3 times?
Yeah. Will she die? Like, you know, everyone's like, yeah. And then she's still...
No, she could have her back broken, get shot, get whatever.
She's
and like,
nope. She's the immortal Iron Fist. That's who Felicity is.
Defender of Kunlun. Sworn enemy of the hand.
Sworn enemy of the hand.
I'm a sworn enemy of the hand, okay?
Oliver, don't you understand? I'm the sworn enemy of the hand.
Poop mouth.
Poop mouth. All right. Okay, well... This was fun.
We could wrap this up.
Yeah.
CW premieres. I think we should probably
Overall.
talk about these again, revisit them when the crossover happens next month.
That's a good idea. I was going to say, I don't want to do this all the time. This is
no,
a lot of work.
That's too
But yeah,
much.
we'll talk about the crossover as a whole. So which will take place over like 2 nights this time.
I think so. Yeah. Towards the end of November.
Yeah. So cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think. Why not, man? Get a bunch of superheroes together. Let's see how.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
I dig it. Okay, Matt.
So that's our show, my friend.
Yeah, that is our show. It's kind of long, but who cares? Just like watching Legends of Tomorrow for Matt Ritchie, it felt like a long time. So, all right. So if you want to hit us up on social media, Matt, how can people hit you up and go, "Hey, you're wrong about those CW shows, pal"?
Oh, okay. I'm sure that's what they'll talk about.
Some people, there are people.
At Matt Ritchie, MATTRICHEY.
Awesome. And you can hit me up at J_Rocka on Twitter. You can hit the show up on Twitter at Let's Go Comic Show. You can send us an email if you're like, hey, I just like to write strongly, worded emails to Let's Go Comic Show at gmail.com. You can visit our website at www.letsgocast.com where you can find our other show, the Let's Go podcast. Hey, go listen to that show. That's a good time.
Check it out.
It's a good time. Put it on your iPod. So, but one thing that you could do, here's the part of the show where like, hey, help us out. This would be amazing. Go to iTunes. Write us a 5-star review. And then tell your friends to listen. Yeah. There you go. Tell your friends about me. Right? Like Batman style. Come on, do Batman 89.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Matt looked at me like he's never seen Batman
lost,
89.
Dude.
He was like, "What are you, Batman 89?"
I'm ashamed. I'm sorry, sir.
Do that.
That's it. I'm done.
He's done now. Matt's leaving. That does not cost you a dime. But you know what does cost you a dime? Is if you go to our Patreon site, patreon.com/letsgocast, and there's a bunch of different levels. You can you can subscribe and support the show, and you can go and visit and look at those things. And there's little rewards and stuff that we'll give you for being a part. So be a gotta bro. Be a gotta gal. Be a part of, our little Let's Go universe and help make the shows better. And be a part. Know that when you listen, you help build this house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think we can even, I didn't run this by Justin at all. So
Not at all.
Me going rogue. We can even do some shout outs. Like, we can mention you on the air. And just so you know, we're working on figuring out as we're able to grow, we're able to do some extra content that would be for Patreon subscribers.
For just $1 a month, we will read your name on the show. Remember those old things? Save the dogs. So, that would be
Sarah
awesome.
McLachlan on our side. But
there we go. Sarah McLaughlin is a big supporter of Let's Go Cast Universe of shows. So there you go. So thank you for listening. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.